Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Tuesday, September 26th, 2017. We had gone out to the store this afternoon, the kids and I did, and so elbow macaroni, 79 cents a pound. So I'm like, well, you know, I got a ton of elbow macaroni already, but what's another 10 pounds? So I picked up 10 pounds of elbow macaroni, so you're looking at $7.90 there. And then once a year for a little while, the pasta sauce goes on sale. It's normally like $1.59 a jar, and so we like the smooth marinara. So now it's they sell it for 99 cents for this time of year for whatever reason. It's just they always do it. So picked up 10 jars of that. Now I already have a bunch of that as well, but with the colder weather, we generally eat more pasta. So the way I look at it, you're looking at $9.90 and $7.90. So you're looking at what, $17.80, and basically we could almost get 10 meals out of that realistically. You know, I mean, obviously we'll add more to it. So now I want to clarify something from the other video I did the other day with the rice and the beans. And people have this misconception for whatever reason that I'm talking it's all you're going to have with that meal is rice, a half a cup of rice, and a quarter cup of beans. That's a good start. It's a good staple as far as the main thing to have in your meal. But you're going to obviously be adding other stuff to that. You'd hopefully have some form of meat to add on to that, other vegetables or something like that, or fresh greens depending on the time of year. Hopefully some fruits if you have them around and stuff like that. So it's not just, I'm like, this is what you're going to have, rice and beans and that's it. No, that's not what I meant at all. Rice and beans are a good platform to start from. Somebody said that the half a cup of rice is about 112 calories, and but then when you add the beans in there with it to a quarter cup of beans, once they cook up to a half cup, combined you're looking at about 500 calories just there alone. Now obviously 2,000 calories a day, and then if it's an SHTF situation, you're probably going to be exerting a lot more energy. So you're going to be probably burning, you're probably going to be wanting to take in 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day because you're going to be having a lot more activity. So that's what's going on with that. So I just wanted to clear that up so that people didn't think that I was just saying that's all you're going to eat is just rice and just beans. So that's not the case at all. So today, it's real hot again today. Hit 91 up here. Got a little bit of clouds right now, but it's been pretty sunny most of the day. And but it has been very, very warm. We have the cooler weather is coming. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I love fall. Fall is my favorite time of year. So it makes things much easier. It's cooler. It's better to sleep. And I was having a hard time sleeping today, just because it was so freaking hot. So anyway, but so that's what's going on with that. And like I said, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things too, kind of follow up a little bit on the video that I did yesterday. And just kind of say and I had mentioned it in the video about the things that are using as distractions. This is just another distraction from what's really going on, what's really, really important. There's a lot of things happening, guys, that are really scary in the world right now. And I mean, if you want to look at one really bad situation, it's definitely an SHTF situation for this group of people. Let's talk about Puerto Rico, okay? The U.S. Virgin Islands. I mean, Puerto Rico is just got hammered. I think 100% of the people are without power. So you're talking about a really, really bad situation down there right now. And they're talking that it could be months before the power comes back up. So, I mean, think about that. If that happened in, the entire United States, how bad that would be if there was a couple of months with no, power. So, and it's, I will always advocate prepping, always advocate being prepared. Let's use an example, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. Like if you go on the websites for FEMA and stuff like that, a lot of these places, they're saying like 3 days to 2 weeks to have between 3 days and 2 weeks worth of fresh food and water in case of an emergency, okay? But at the same time, the same government that recommends that you do 3 days to 2 weeks, they have facilities underground with probably 10 years worth of food. Now, that's the ultimate prepping in my opinion, okay? And they don't just have food, they have ways to have power. You know, they have plenty of diesel stored up, they have plenty of fresh water, and they could lock themselves underground in these different bunkers that they have and be good to go for, like I said, 10 years. And after 10 years, I think the population above ground would be pretty thinned out. So if they prep like that, why shouldn't we prep like that? You know, that's kind of how I look at it. But you know, you just never know. I mean, it's just something to think about. It's something to ponder. Why would the government be ready to that degree and not recommend that her people be ready to that degree? Okay, so I just try to think outside the box a little bit and try to be as independent as possible as far as my thought process goes. Realizing that a lot of things are just strictly distractions. The whole thing with the NFL, you know, with taking a knee, there's definitely a distraction. I mean, you know, here's what I want a lot of people to remember. Now, some people have made comments of, you know, it's the players that they're protesting because of so many young black men unarmed being killed by the police. Well, let's talk about that for a second real quick, and I just wanted to kind of bring this up. And yes, that does happen, and it's a bad thing. But there's also young white men that are killed unarmed by police. But that doesn't fit the agenda of the media. So that is not put out there in the media like it is if a young black man is unarmed is killed. Okay? Now, here's the thing, you know, a lot of these people that this different situations happened, that here's the thing, if you had complied with the police and you know, and didn't attack the police and all those type of things, you wouldn't be shot. And I don't care what color you are. If you're going to go after the police, they're going to shoot you. You know, if you're stupid, you're going to get shot. I mean, follow the rules. If they say, if a cop said to me, lay on the ground, I'm not going to look at him and say, well, why do you want me to lay on the ground? I'm going to lay on the ground. I'm sorry, you know, and I'm not just trying to be, you know, passive in their thing is, but I don't want to get shot. I want to go home to my family and take care of my family. You know what? They're on a power trip, some of them. Not all cops are bad. Here's the thing is, in any line of work that you do, you're going to have good and bad. It's just the way it is, okay? And I know there's that blue wall of silence, and I know a lot of you probably talk about that, you know, where the cops don't rat on cops. Well, you know, that happens, okay? But the thing is, you got to understand, it's a very, very highly stressful job, where for the most part that they deal with the public, but they don't, not the best side of the public. So it could be very stressful. And I'll tell you what, I could never be a cop. I could never do it, because I've told police officers that. I said, you know what, I couldn't do your job. And I said, because I said some of the scum that they deal with, I'd want to crack their heads open. I'll be honest. I mean, that's just me being honest. So I know that that's not the job for me, so I never did that job. Because, you know, somebody that hurt a child, I would have a major issue with that. So, you know, especially being a father, you know, so that I couldn't do that job, you know. It's just like, okay, now I've been a nurse, like I told you guys, forever and ever and a day. 23 years, I think I'm up to now, being a nurse, something like that. But anyway, I could never, ever do pediatric cancer patients. I couldn't do it, because if that child died, it would tear me to shreds. I just could not do it. That's why I enjoy working with the geriatric population, because they're at their end of their lives. They've had their lives, they've lived their life, and it's part of the natural progression. So it's easier to accept it when they die, as opposed to a child that shouldn't be dying and they die. I couldn't do it. So those nurses that do the pediatric, you know, like cancer patients and stuff like that, my hats are off to them, because honestly I couldn't do it. And realistically, I think that usually nurses that do that only stay in that part of it for a couple of years, from what I've understood, what I've heard, because it's very, very stressful, and it's very hard to deal with, because you get attached. I don't care what anybody says. You know, they said don't get attached, don't get attached. You do. It just happens. So anyway, oh, here's my boy coming again. What you doing, buddy? What you doing? So anyway, I wanted to show you guys the preps that I got today. we continue to add on. We will always continue to add on. Like I said, the pasta and stuff like that, that goes right into our rotation. We're going to eat that up in any way and stuff like that. And so that's, you know, that's not a big deal, but just always adding on. So it's always in my thought process to continue to prep no matter what. For under 20 bucks, I got, you know, 10 pounds of pasta, and I got 10 jars of, you know, of sauce. So I think that's pretty decent. So, but anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys are having a good start to your weeks, and you know, overlook the distractions, guys. Focus on the real issues, you know. Really, that's the important thing. Focus on what's really important, what's going on, and continue to prep. Prep, prep, prep. I'm telling you. It's really, really important, and I will always continue to advocate that, and I do it by example. I mean, we continue to add on. It's what we do. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every day, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And remember, guys, STD. It's really, really important. It really is. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're working for, prepping or whatever, you know, do it methodically, and you'll get there. You'll reach your goals. It's going to happen. So anyway, I'm going to jump off of here for now. I got one more hot day to go, and then it's going to start cooling down, and then hopefully we can start being more motivated. So, but it's just been too hot. And I know in the south you guys are going to laugh at me saying 90s hot, but up here 90s hot. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.